All those in favor? Chair Winslow?
Aye.
Uh, Commissioner Correa?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Drexler? And I vote aye. Are there any members of the public here who would like to make public comment today? There being none, we'll go on to the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that any of the commissioners have questions on or would like to see moved?
Madam Acting Chair, I move that we adopt the consent agenda as submitted.
I second.
Thank you very much. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Chair Winslow?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Drexler?
Aye.
Commissioner Correa?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The consent agenda is approved as presented. And we'll go on to the regular agenda. I believe we have Summer Pope representing staff.
Thank you, Madam Acting Chair and Commissioners. Summer Pope on behalf of staff. Excuse me. Each of these regulation dockets on the regular agenda would have the Commission proceed pursuant to the Administrative Procedures Act to amend certain sections of the regulation section to comply with Title 26, Section 102A. Therefore, with the Commission's permission, I think it makes sense to consider the regular agenda items 1 through 5 all at once.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
As this commission knows, Senate Bill 56 passed last year, and in quick summary, it changed public notice requirements so that publication in 2 newspapers is no longer mandated. These regulation changes all seek to amend language to reflect that public notice shall be issued in accordance with Title 26, Section 102A. Staff submits that this is proper and that this action can be completed through the APA's informal process, which is in Title 29, Section 10113, Subpart B, meaning that the Commission need not issue public notice of the regulation change, hold hearings, or consider public comments. Instead, the amendments to the regulations, so to comply with the statute, will be published in the next edition of the Registrar of Regulations, which will be in May of 2024. Staff thanks the Commission for its consideration and respectfully requests that the Commission enter into each of the proposed orders for regular agenda items 1 through 5. Thank you.
Any questions on any of these?
Madam Chair, I have a question. Ms. Pope, you're saying that there's no longer a requirement to publish in the newspaper, yes?
Section 102A now lists publication in 1 newspaper as an option. Previously, it was a requirement that it was published in 2 newspapers. So I believe there's 4 or 5 choices on how a utility or the Commission can issue public notice, and you choose 2 of those options.
Okay, understood. Thank you. No further questions, Madam Chair.
May I have a motion to adopt regular items 1 through 5, please?
So moved, Madam Acting Chair.
I second the motion.
Any questions on the motion?
Madam Chair, I just would call the order numbers if I can amend the motion,
Okay,
if that's acceptable to. Order number 10408, 10410, 10411, 10412, 10414.
thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Chair Winslow?
Aye.
Commissioner Correa?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Drexler?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That brings us down to the hearing schedule. In the matter of the application of Veolia Water Delaware, Inc. for an increase in water base rates. I believe we have Pam Scott.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, and Chair Winslow on the phone. Pam Scott here on behalf of Veolia Water Delaware, Inc., who is the applicant in this matter. I have with me today company witness James Cagle, to my right, who is the Vice President of Rates and Regulatory Affairs for Veolia Water M&S, Inc., who will provide testimony in support of the settlement that has been reached in this matter. I will give a brief overview of the application and then have Mr. Cagle offer some testimony if that's acceptable. So also as a brief point, the parties have stipulated to the exhibit log that was submitted in this matter with exhibits 1 through 21. So I just wanted to make sure that with the consent of both DPA and staff counsel, that I would move for the admission of that exhibit log.
No objection.
No objection.
Thank you.
So in connection with this matter, the parties being public advocate and public commission staff have reached a settlement. On April 27th, 2023, Veolia Water Delaware filed its application with the commission seeking approval of an increase in water base rates of $6,083,443, which included DSIC. The company based its application on a test year consisting of 12 months ending December 31st, 2022, and a test period consisting of 12 months ending September 30, 2024, which contained 3 months of historical data and 9 months of forecasted data. On May 4th, 2023, the DPA filed their statutory notice of intervention, and on May 17th, the Commission entered order number 10238, in which it suspended the company's proposed rates and tariff sheets and delegated responsibility for this matter to hearing examiner Glenn Kenton. On May 19th, Veolia filed its petition to implement interim rates pursuant to 29 Del Code 306 subsection C, which would have been equal to the lesser of 15% of intrastate gross operating revenues, or $2.5 million. The Commission approved this request pursuant to Order 10-247 on June 7th, 2023. On September 12th, 2023, hearing examiner Kenton conducted a duly noticed public comment session in Newcastle County, Delaware, and no members of the public attended that session. On December 18th, staff and DPA filed their written testimony in this docket. Staff recommended a rate increase of $3,620,921, which was inclusive of DSIC charges, and the DPA recommended an increase of $3,099,744, also inclusive of DSIC charges. On February 2nd, 2024, after reaching a settlement in principle, the parties submitted a joint motion to revoke the delegation of hearing examiner, approve the form of public notice, and approve the presentation of this settlement agreement to the Commission as a whole. This motion was approved, on February 13th, the parties filed their settlement agreement with the Commission, and on February 21st, the Commission adopted Order Number 10-386, which approved the joint motion, directing Veolia to publish notice of the session for which we are here today, and approving the parties' request that the Commission would conduct the evidentiary hearing. Notice of this hearing was published on March the 1st, 2024, and the affidavit of publication was filed with the Commission on March 6, 2024. The relevant terms of the settlement are as follows. The total revenue requirement for Veolia shall be $4.1 million, inclusive of DSIC, which would become effective April 1st, 2024. The stipulated revenue requirement encompasses a 9.50 return on equity and an overall rate of return of 7.05%. Veolia agreed that its fixed monthly residential customer charge would be $15 for those on the 5/8 inch meters, and agreed to other fixed charges for the remaining meter sizes as set forth in the settlement agreement. Exhibit A to the settlement agreement reflects the proof of revenues as agreed upon by the parties, and Exhibit B to the settlement agreement provides the new proposed tariff and red line showing the changes that were made in connection with the settlement. So I'd like to present some brief testimony for Mr. Cagle, and at this time I ask that he be sworn.
I do, yes.
Mr. Cable, Mr. Cagle, sorry. For whom do you work and what is your position?
So I am the Vice President of Rates and Regulatory Affairs for Veolia. I work for Veolia Water M&S Paramus Incorporated, or Inc. That was, Veolia Water M&S Paramus was the former Suez Water Management and Services prior to the Veolia merger.
And what is your role and responsibilities with respect to Veolia Water Delaware, Inc.?
So I'm primarily responsible for the management direction of rate cases for the regulated affiliates of Veolia Water M&S and for Veolia. I'm also responsible for the oversight of rate-related filings, compliance filings, and other reporting requirements as are prescribed by our various regulatory commissions.
And did you provide testimony in support of this particular rate case?
I did, yes.
And you are familiar with the settlement agreement that is noted as Exhibit 21 in the exhibit log?
I am,
Were you involved in the settlement negotiations for this docket?
yes.
And you're obviously familiar with the terms of the executed settlement agreement, correct?
Yes.
Is there anything that you would like to tell the commission as it relates to the settlement and the terms that have been agreed to by Veolia?
Yes, and thank you. So I believe the settlement provides a benefit to Veolia Delaware's customers because the settlement avoids costly litigation. Certainly, this would ultimately be passed on to customers through rate case expenses. Further, the settlement agreement was a product of lengthy and good faith negotiations between all the parties. While no party achieved everything that they wanted, I think the settlement represents a fair result for both the company and its customers. I don't think the outcome of the settlement, I don't think the settlement would have resulted in anything materially different had the case been fully litigated. And also, I believe the Commission's adoption of the settlement agreement is in the public interest, and it results in just and reasonable rates.
Thank you, Mr. Cagle. I have no further questions for this witness, and he is available for cross-examination.
Thank you. Ms. Pope?
No cross, thank you.
No questions.
Commissioners, any questions, any comments? Then I'll entertain a motion to adopt order number,
Actually, we
Excuse
have,
me.
we have two more witnesses.
Oh,
one
I'm
from staff
sorry.
And one from DPA.
okay? It's not showing on my paper. Go ahead.
Oh, do you want us to go first? Okay. The public advocate calls Andrea Melcher to the stand and asks that she be sworn. Ms. Melcher, would you please state your name and business address for the record?
Yes, my name is Andrea Moucher. I'll give you my new business address effective today, which is the Thomas Collins Building, 510 North Duplex Highway, Dover, Delaware, 19901.
And by whom are you employed?
The Delaware Division of the Public Advocate,
And what is your position with the DPA?
a public utility analyst.
What are your duties and responsibilities in that position?
Generally, I'm responsible for overall management of those dockets where the public advocate has intervened. This includes review of applications, testimonies, and discovery responses, selection of consultants where necessary, and participation in the development of positions taken by the public advocate.
And as part of those duties and responsibilities, did you review the application of Veolia Water Delaware for an increase in its water service rates?
Yes,
Did the public advocate retain Glenn Watkins of Technical Associates, Inc., and David Garrett of Resolve Utility Consulting to review the application?
Yes.
Did those witnesses submit the pre-filed testimonies that have been marked as exhibits and admitted into evidence?
Yes.
Do those testimonies reflect the positions that the DPA would have taken in this case if it were litigated?
They do.
You are aware that the parties have reached a settlement in this case.
Yes, I am.
Did you participate in the settlement negotiations that resulted in the proposed settlement?
Yes, I did.
And you are the witness that the DPA is proffering to testify about the proposed settlement?
Yes, I am.
Would you discuss the most important provisions of the proposed settlement from the DPA's perspective?
Yes. In its application, Veolia Delaware requested an increase in water base rates of slightly more than $6 million, which includes approximately $1.75 million of existing distribution system improvement charges, or DSIC, already being paid by customers. This increase represents an almost 19% increase over existing base rates. While the DPA's litigated position was lower than Veolia's request, the DPA recognizes that had the case been litigated, some of our adjustments may not have prevailed before the Commission. Carefully evaluating the risks, the DPA is confident that the proposed settlement increase in base rates of $4.1 million is just and reasonable. The agreed return on equity of 9.5% is the same as the company's current return on equity and a full 1,000 basis points lower than the company's requested return on equity of 10.5%. With the agreed upon ROE in the proposed settlement, Veolia's overall rate of return will be 7.05%.
I note that the matter of the residential customer charge is specified in the proposed settlement agreement. Would you please discuss why that is?
Of all matters considered in a rate case, rate design is one of the more important issues to the DPA. This office has a long history of opposing attempts by regulated utilities to recover variable costs and fixed customer charges, as this will negatively impact customers with lower usage. In this case, although the settled monthly customer charge is somewhat higher than we advocated, it is within the range of reasonableness and lower than the amount requested by Veolia. As part of the proposed settlement agreement, the parties have also agreed to the fixed customer charges for other meter sizes.
Are there other aspects of the company's application you wish to discuss?
Yes. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is proposing new drinking water treatment standards related to perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances, also called PFAS. They require substantial upgrades to Veolia's water treatment facilities. At the time of the filing, Veolia was anticipating additional capital investments between $45 and $50 million, and is anticipating as much as $6 million in annual increases in operating and maintenance expenses. To help mitigate the upcoming cost increases, the company proposed a surcharge mechanism which would have allowed Veolia to collect some of the costs in advance of its next rate case, thereby minimizing rate shock.
What position did the DPA take on the proposed surcharge mechanism?
DPA witness Watkins performed detailed financial analyses of the revenue requirement impacts over the life of the water treatment plant upgrades, both with and without the proposed surcharge. He found that it would take more than 30 years before residential customers would receive nominal accumulated benefits, exceeding the costs they paid upfront in surcharges. For that reason, and because the surcharge proposal essentially amounts to pre-approval for utility plant investment, the DPA rejected the idea.
This matter is not mentioned in the proposed settlement agreement. Is there a reason you are raising it today?
Yes, the treatment of PFAS is likely to become a substantial cost for all utilities in the near future and will increase rates paid by their customers. The DPA believes it is important that the Commission recognize the impending financial burden this will place on utility customers across the state as it considers other costly initiatives that will impact vulnerable Delawareans.
Do you believe that the proposed settlement results in just and reasonable rates for residential and small commercial customers and is in the public interest?
Yes, I do.
And why do you believe that?
The settlement agreement is a product of extensive good faith negotiations between the parties and represents a fair result for both the company and its customers. no party achieved everything that it wanted.
Ms. Melcher is available for cross-examination.
No cross by Veolia.
No questions, thank you. Thank you, Madam Acting Chair and Commissioners. Summer Pope on behalf of staff. With me today is Ms. Shona Marshall, and I ask that she be sworn in. Please state, oh, sorry, go ahead. You can do your job. Please state your name and business address for the record.
Shona Marshall, 861 Silver Lake Boulevard, Cannon Building, Suite 100, Dover, Delaware 19904.
By whom are you employed?
The Delaware Public Service Commission,
And what is your position with the commission?
Public Utility Analyst.
In connection with your employment, have you performed certain review and investigation in this docket?
Yes.
And as part of your duties and responsibilities, did you file testimony on behalf of commission staff in this docket on December 18th, 2023?
Yes.
And has your testimony been marked and entered into the record of this proceeding as exhibit number 14?
Yes.
Was any other testimony filed on behalf of staff in this docket?
Yes. Aura Azad of AZP Consultant LLC was obtained on behalf of staff, and as well as staff witness Samantha Kane filed testimony as well.
And has Ms. Azad's and Ms. Kane's testimony been marked and entered into the record of this proceeding as exhibit numbers 15, 16, and 17?
Yes.
Were you involved in the negotiations on behalf of commission staff that led to the settlement agreement in this case? And can you briefly describe the terms of the agreement?
Yes. On February 2nd, 2024, the parties agreed to an overall increase in the revenue requirement in the amount of $4.1 million, which includes the current DSIC rates to be effective April 1st, 2024. Additionally, the parties also agreed to a 9.5% return on common equity and overall rate of return of 7.05% and a fixed monthly service.
I'm having a very difficult time hearing you, Ms. Marshall.
Sorry.
So am I. I agree.
Additionally, the parties also agreed to a 9.5% return on common equity, an overall rate of return of 7.05%, and a fixed monthly service charge of $15 for customers who have a 5/8-inch meter.
Ms. Marshall, do you believe that the proposed settlement marked as exhibit number 21 results in just and reasonable rates and is in the public interest?
Yes, I do.
Can you please explain your reasons for this belief?
Staff recommends that the proposed settlement be approved as submitted. The parties met on several occasions to broker it. Huh? Yes. Staff recommends that the proposed settlement be approved as submitted. The parties met on several occasions to broker an agreement that was just and reasonable, as well as in accordance with the company's tariff and in the public's best interest. Furthermore, staff finds that the avoidance of litigation is in the best interest of all parties.
Does this conclude your testimony?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Marshall is now available for any cross-examination.
No questions by Veolia.
No questions.
Ms. Marshall, I have a question about the, you talked about a 5/8-inch meter. Is that normal for residences? Does everybody have a 5/8?
I'm not sure. That may be a question for Veolia.
And also, in new construction, is that normal?
Yes.
So also have Mr. Finicum, who can really answer any operational, because let me take a stab, and then our operations expert can correct me. So 5/8-inch meter is the smallest meter that we put in. Generally, that is sufficient for a normal residential household. Larger meters would serve customers with more need, shall we say, commercial or other types. Have I gotten that right?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions? All right, I will then entertain a motion to adopt proposed order 10409.
I move that we adopt the order number 10409.
I'll second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify Commissioner, I'm sorry, Chairman Winslow,
I vote yes, aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Drexler,
Aye.
Commissioner Correa,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Motion carries. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hardigan.
Thank you, Madam Acting Chair. Just a couple quick notes. I wanted to echo your sentiments regarding Summer. You may recall when Summer arrived, shortly after she arrived, Bill O'Brien left us, and we threw Summer into the deep end of the regulatory pool, and she survived and has done a great job representing both staff and the commission over the last couple of years. So we certainly appreciate that and wish her well.
Thank you, everybody. Very nice.
And our next meeting will be April 17th.
Any other
Madam
comments?
Acting Chair,
Harden?
may I say a few words, please?
Yes, go ahead, Chairman Winslow.
Ms. Pope, you've acquitted yourself in an outstanding manner. You provided
Absolutely.
outstanding advice with just the right measure of professionalism. The end result is that you depart the Public Service Commission with the respect of the commission, staff, the public advocate, and the utilities we regulate. We've grown fond of you and will miss you. We send our best wishes wherever your career leads you. Best wishes.
Thank you, Chairman Winslow.
There being